I'm back! I love to read a book and be absorbed in words to escape. Hello everyone. I'm so very sorry that it's pretty much been a year since my last uploaded video, and thank you to everybody for being really patient and considerate and for sticking around. I'm amazed that so many people have stayed with me. There hasn't really been evident unsubscribing, which, to be perfectly frank, I'm shocked by, because I would not be that patient with me. So I really want to sincerely thank everybody for sticking around and waiting it out. Everyone's just been really considerate and friendly and understanding, and I'm just really grateful. Thank you so very much. There will be a video that will hopefully sort of explain my absence to an extent. It's a video I've been meaning to do for a long time, detailing some information about my chronic illnesses and my issues with anxiety and depression. So, I mean, there's other reasons for doing the video, but it will also hopefully offer a bit of an explanation and some context as to why I've been absent for the past year. Anywho, I've missed everybody, and I have been somewhat keeping updated with what's been going on in the booktube world. A lot of the time I felt really guilt-ridden though anytime I looked at other people's videos, because it would be reminding me that I wasn't contributing and I wasn't doing anything. Also, just seeing the amount that people were reading and purchasing books kind of, yeah, it made me feel guilty as well, because 2013 was a pretty awful year for me with regards to reading. I was just in a massive year-long slump. I hardly did any reading at all, and the desire to read also wasn't there. I could probably show you the books that, from memory, were purchased or received in 2013. There weren't very many, because as I said, I was in such a slump, so I couldn't bring myself to purchase books because I knew I wasn't actively reading. There was still some stuff that I can share, and so, yeah, this is all going to be out of order. I don't remember when, what happened and how. In May of 2013, I did go to the Sydney Writers' Festival, like on my birthday actually, because I was in Sydney on my birthday because I saw Julie Andrews in concert the night before, which was amazing. And that day, my birthday, I was hanging out with a friend who was going to a few events at the Writers' Festival, and I'd forgotten it was on. But I just went and walked around for a little bit, and they have a store there. And they were selling Mark Forsyth stuff, because you could get the Horologicon and the Etymologicon in like a combo pack, and I knew that the year before this one had been going around like wildfire. People were reading it and enjoying it, and I just thought to myself at the time, huh? And so I bought both this and the Etymologicon, which is currently not in my possession because a friend has it. But I read them both and really enjoyed them, and I had a lot of fun with them. I really like Mark Forsyth's style and his tone and his sense of humour. It's really cool. But I was learning fun things too, and it got me really interested in words and the history and the origin of words and things, and that kind of came through with a few other books that I purchased. But then also towards the end of the year, his latest one, which is The Elements of Eloquence, came out too. I've read that one. It was good. Still fun. It's still cool to read, and I like to pretend that I know more now about grammar and word usage and whatnot. I probably don't, but I like to pretend I do. That kind of led to my getting The Meaning of Life, which is by Douglas Adams and John Lloyd. And of course Douglas Adams wrote Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and John Lloyd is the co-creator and brains behind the TV show QI, which I love. Big fan. And so this is just the original dictionary of things there should be words for, so they just take random words, often street signs, little town names in England and whatnot, and use those as words to which they can prescribe really crazy definitions. Like, fring apparently is the noise made by a light bulb that has just shone its last. So it's just, yeah, it's just a crazy funny little book. There's also a few other ones of this. This was the first edition, and I really want to get Afterlife, which is the latest one, because it's got a lot of ones about tea. My interest in words then led me to Mother Tongue by Bill Bryson. Bill Bryson's really awesome. A lot of people like him, and he's quite a funny guy. And yeah, I picked this one up. It's really dense, but it's still interesting. And again, I like to think I learnt something from it, I don't know. But having purchased that, because it was by Bill Bryson, I was then like, I want to get a travel book and pretend I'm going places, and I really want to go to England, so I got Notes from a Small Island, which is his adventures, his 20 years, I think, that he spent in England, living in England, travelling around and stuff, and it's really good. I really like him. I think that he and Mark Forsyth should get together and have a chat and then make a book, because that would be really interesting and funny and clever. My interest in words led me to grabbing this in a cheap bookstore in town that I think Leslie and I have done a tour of. This is The Dord, The Digalot and an Avocado or Two, The Hidden Lives and Strange Origins of Common and Not So Common Words. So yeah, it was kind of a similar style to the Horologicon in that, and it was fun. I got some books about books, so I got The Child That Books Built by Frances Spufford, and it's sort of a memoir. Tolstoy and the Purple Chair, My Year of Magical Reading by Nina Sankovic. So, yeah, just again, memoir about reading. More Weird Things Customers Say in Bookshops, because I've got Weird Things Customers Say in Bookshops, and again, it's just hilarious, really zany, wacky anecdotes from booksellers and the customers that they encounter. So I don't know where I grabbed this, but I like it. It's The Heroine's Bookshelf, Life Lessons from Jane Austen to Laura Ingalls Wilder, and it's by Erin Blakemore, and I mainly grabbed it because there's an entire bit about Anne of Green Gables and an entire bit about Little Women, and also a bit for Jane Eyre. She attributes different qualities to each one, so they get a chapter for each book, and yeah, I just really liked that. Anything, if it's going to mention Anne of Green Gables, I'll probably buy it. I'm pretty sure Leslie gave me this for my birthday last year. I finally got 84 Charing Cross Road. Yay! I have a copy, and it's so lovely. And I've read the sequel, whatever that one's called. I've got my own copy now of Nick Hornby's The Complete Polysyllabic Spree, and there's a new one out. It's just like my year of reading or something like that. There's a new one out anywho, which I should try and purchase at some point when it's not $27. This is The Superior Person's Third Book of Well-Bred Words by Peter Bowler. And it's kind of just a dictionary of kind of rare, uncommon words or old-fashioned words that, yeah, are fun to say and have bizarre meanings and whatnot. I grabbed this in Cook's Hill Books, which is the second-hand bookstore Leslie and I really love that's right in town. I finally got Shelf Life, and I've wanted this one for quite a while because it's a memoir of a lady's time spent working in a bookstore, and as you know, I love those sort of things. There's so many books called Shelf Life, I've noticed. There's a good 4 or 5 that are books about books and are entitled Shelf Life, so it gets a bit tricky, but I finally have this one now. It's the Snark Handbook Clichés edition, and it's, yeah, just quotations, which I love. Snarky quotations. I got a copy finally of The Perks of Being a Wallflower. I think this is right towards the beginning of the year, possibly, because that was when we got the film, maybe. Really early 2013 was when it was in cinemas here, and so I thought I should at least own the book so I can read it at some point in the future, so I grabbed that. I went to a special writing festival that was, I think that was around March or so in Sydney, and there were a heap of really awesome writers there that I really love. Juliet Marillier was there, Kate Forsyth was there, Sophie Masson was there. Who else? Garth Nix was there. There were really cool people there. And I made sure to get books signed and stuff, and it was really nice to get to chat to them. And this was just before, I think, Kate Forsyth's The Wild Girl was getting released, so I made sure to grab this. I haven't read it yet. I feel really bad, but I've not read it yet. But I will! And it's about the Brothers Grimm and Wilhelm's romance with the girl next door, and how she inspired the inclusion of several fairy tales into their collection and stuff, so I will read it at some point. Also, Fairy Tale E, I got The Snow Child by Erwin Ivey. I'm terrible at pronouncing names. I know this was really highly praised, and so I do want to read it at some point. Grabbed that one. Opening Pandora's Box, Phrases We Borrowed from the Classics and the Stories Behind Them, and it's mainly about Greek myth, and it just takes, you know, like, let's see here, like, et tu, Brute, and it just explains, you know, the history of where that phrase comes from, and gives you the story behind it and that sort of thing. And it was just a cool little non-fiction thing to, and I've got it sitting up there with all my myth and folklore and stuff, so yeah, it's cool. This was a Christmas gift from Lara. Oh. And it's Tolkien's Letters from Father Christmas, which I know she's spoken about before on her channel. And yeah, it's the letters that he sent to his children over like a 20-year period or something. Yeah, pretending to be Father Christmas, and they'd write and he'd always write back, and it's got the original, like, copy of the original letters in there as well, which is just so sweet and so cute. And so, yeah, it arrived just after Christmas, which was such a shame. But I'll have it to read this year for Christmas, so thank you, Lara. Christmas off my friend Fran, I got Godmother, The Secret Cinderella Story by Carolyn Turgeon, and this is the same author who wrote Mermaid, which lives up here in my fairy tale collection. So I've got to read this at some point. Apparently it's quite dark, quite a dark retelling, but it sounds interesting. I should probably read it alongside this one so that I've got both of them covered. My friend Tim for Christmas gave me My Mother She Killed Me, My Father He Ate Me, 40 New Fairy Tales, and it's by an array of awesome people. Neil Gaiman's in there. I've wanted this one for ages and ages and ages and ages. I was really, really excited when I opened it up and found it. My Christmas present of my aunt and uncle was awesome. It's The Biographical Dictionary of Film by David Thompson, and it's awesome. It's huge. It's quite a personal selection. It seems like he's just chosen all his favourite people and his favourite films to reference, and yeah, the descriptions in that are very subjective, and I really like that you can feel his own personality in the way he describes certain actors and actresses. And there's a great entry on Shirley Temple, which made me really happy. So, dropping it. It's huge, but it's awesome, and it sits with all my film stuff. So, the film geek in me was well happy. My friend sent me this anthology stories, All New Tales, edited by Neil Gaiman. What's really cool is that she got it at Shakespeare & Company, so it has a Shakespeare & Company logo in it. Thank you, Beck! And I like it because it's compact, and it should travel well, which is great. I love getting my short story anthologies. I don't know when and where I purchased this, but it's hilarious. It's the Emily Dickinson Reader. It's an English-to-English translation of Emily Dickinson's complete poems, and I'm a huge Dickinson fan. One translation would be, "Hope is kind of like birds, in that I don't have any." It's great. There's an awful lot of zombies in here, and I like to read it and then find the corresponding poem in my actual Emily Dickinson collection, and then see it translated. It's hilarious. I just find it funny. Zombies. These are love letters. It's Elizabeth Barrett to Robert Browning, and it's really sweet. It's really lovely to have the real-life love letters of famous poets. So, yeah, grab this at some point. Bardisms. Shakespeare for all occasions. Shakespeare's having some grog. And it's just, yeah, quotations, again, sorted out by theme, and little explanations about them and why they're cool and whatnot. I like it. At some point I'm going to buy Bill Bryson's book on Shakespeare, because it's meant to be really, really good. Another gift from my friend Tim. Which Lie Did I Tell? More Adventures in Screen Trade, and it's a memoir by William Goldman, who is a really famous screenwriter. He wrote the Princess Bride screenplay. Something I didn't purchase last year, but I certainly read it. I went through a bit of a feminist reading frenzy, and I was trying to read a lot of non-fiction last year, which was another reason why I felt like it maybe wouldn't be as interesting to upload videos about that. But yeah, I finally read Bachelor Girl by Betsy Israel. I've had this for a number of years. My friend Dom gave it to me, and it's 100 Years of Breaking the Rules, a social history of living single. And yeah, I just felt like, you know what, it's about time I finally read that. So I read it, and it was really great. I really enjoyed it. It's a bit dated now, because I think it was published in 2002 maybe, but yeah, it's still really, really fun, especially to read about different eras and how they defined a single woman, and how perspectives changed and whatnot. It was just really cool. But I wanted to get some chick lit, and I wanted to get chick lit based around cafes, because for some reason that gives me a warm fuzzy feeling. So I got How to Eat a Cupcake by Meg Donahue, and it's a really cute book. I like it. I recently went to the library. I'm always going to the library and getting things for my nan. My nan really relies on me to get her good reading material, so I'm often at the library for her. And I couldn't help myself. I decided that I was going to get some books for me, because I don't have enough that I need to read in my own collection here. So I've grabbed Trains and Lovers, The Heart's Journey by Alexander McCall Smith, because it seems to be one of the very few standalone books of his where it's not a part of a series, because everything else is with him. And it's just little, and it's train ride, and I just thought, that sounds really sweet. And I am reading it, but not very far in. I decided to get 2 books that I know Leslie loves, so that I can say I've read them! I grabbed Cold Comfort Farm by Stella Gibbons, because I know she thinks it's hilarious, and it's, yeah, one of her faves. I grabbed Mr. Rosenblum's List by Natasha Solomons, and again, I know this is a favourite, and was very popular with lots of folks on the booktubes, so yeah, gotta read those at some point. Cafe set chick lit seems to make me really happy, so I grabbed Meet Me at the Cupcake Cafe by Jenny Colgan, because I read her The Loveliest Chocolate Shop in Paris, because why wouldn't I read that? It's got chocolate in the title. So, and it was really sweet. Ha, sweet, ba-boom ching. So yeah, grab this one too. Oh, God, falling over. And right now, I'm finally trying to read The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak, because, of course, the film's been released, and it's really pathetic of me being a fellow Australian. I've not read this book yet. It's really, really sad. I've had it for years, but not read it, so yeah, making very slow progress. It's been a tough year, but I'm going to read it. It will be read. Okay, that was my year in books for 2013. I know, not much. That's probably most people's monthly haul, really, but as I said, it was I was struggling. 2013 was not fun, but you can see there were still some book purchases, and hopefully I will get some more videos up for you soon. I've got a few little song medleys prepared to go with my cups routine, so I'll see if that gets done. Thank you again to everybody for your patience. I appreciate it so sincerely, and I just want to give you all huge cyber hugs. There you go, that's for you. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye!